San Antonio!
What up?
Welcome to All Things San Antonio podcast with your host
and favorite realtors, don't forget.
Favorite realtors.
There you go.
Brad, Ken, and we got a couple special guests with us today.
A couple of the homies from the Homes and Homies podcast.
The one and only Michael William Litwin.
Thank you. And John Handsome Hansen.
There we go.
Said no one ever.
Why do we have to get like this close? We don't need to do that.
Said no one ever. Yeah, man, I'm going to keep doing that every time we talk.
Because when you lean in, it's a more intimate conversation.
I was looking at John going, he's very handsome.
I would say these are my pickleball partners, but I've been slacking.
Come on, man.
I know, what's up with that?
I can't even get enough people together to play pickleball.
I was really bummed
and it only
about
takes
this
two.
Thursday because I was so
It doesn't take two to play pickleball when you're us. It takes four
because we're old.
Minimum 4. It's better with 5 so you can rotate out. You know.
Yeah. 6 even better. But my knee has just been. I just don't want to test it yet. It's just
you've been out for what, 2 months now?
Well, because there's
get back on the horse, man.
I'd rather play golf and do other things that are less impactful on it, and give it time. And then we'll start playing. Huh?
What other things?
Poker.
Oh, that's really impactful.
And watching volleyball. Watching volleyball, which actually I've been anxious to see y'all's opinions on this, and I think that this is.
On your bleacher butt? It's getting kind
No, we got two things. So let's start.
I think it looks good.
That's fine.
My bleacher butt. Yeah, I actually got into it the other day at the poker house because they wanted to change the TV, and I was like, no, I'm watching. They're like, who's watching volleyball? I said, I'm watching volleyball. I'm watching women's volleyball, and it became an issue. No, just a small issue, but I got to watch my volleyball. But speaking of volleyball, San Antonio, 2026 is going to host the women's national championship for volleyball.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, because think about volleyball right now as far as a sport, as it's growing. Last year they had 90-something thousand people go watch a volleyball game when they had it outdoors. And it's personal to me, again, because it is women's volleyball. But we've had last week there's been 3 forfeits that have happened in D1 volleyball. 2 conference games, Mountain West, and 1 non-conference game. And the forfeits were by Wyoming, BSU conference games, and Southern Utah in games they're supposed to play against San Jose State University, who has a starting transgender player. And so they have elected to just forfeit it. Yeah, the loss goes. And what thing is, if this continues, they'll be national champions. San Jose State, if everybody forfeits against them, they're going to win it all. They'll be undefeated at that point. So it's interesting in this time right now that we have people standing up to protect women's rights. So curious what y'all thought. I got real quiet in here. Got serious.
I think honestly it's a big safety thing. One of the things
safety thing.
You've talked about your daughter struggles with in volleyball. She's been hit a few times, got some concussions.
She's got a concussion right now.
The strength of a male is stronger than a woman
Amplified.
In most cases.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
Men and women play volleyball totally differently. It's a totally different sport. And putting guys in any kind of girl sport, it's just not right.
At the same time, there was, I can't remember what it was, but a transgender, it was a homecoming. Someone got upset because the homecoming queen, it was stolen from a girl because a transgender person was named the homecoming queen. I'm personally for that because if you can't be hotter than the transgender person, then that's just pure aesthetics at that point. There's no safety.
But yeah, I think that's different. I think that goes from a safety thing to
not just a safety thing. I mean, I might piss people off, but there is genetic differences between men and women. There's several, and I personally am all for you do whatever you want to do. This is America.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do.
You be you. That's
you
fine.
be you. You don't like that thing. Chop it off. You want to grow one, man? Pay some money and get one grown.
Absolutely.
I go for it. But when it comes to you're still you can't play in women's sports, right?
You can't, and people do the argument about the other way around. But again, there's non-safety at that point.
The other way around, if you're a woman and you want to go participate in men's sports and you can hang with them,
more power to you.
More power to you.
You were awesome. Do it.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see because obviously y'all hadn't heard nothing about it, and I've being involved in volleyball and watching it and stuff. I see it more so, and I think it's going to be interesting how far it goes. Because these are there's a lot of money, there's money involved in these things, and it's unfortunate for everybody involved. It's unfortunate even for the person that wants to play volleyball because it would be great for they had an opportunity to play somewhere, but again, I'm for them not playing against.
I got an easy solution.
Yeah,
men's bracket, women's bracket, and
they have men's.
And
That's
open,
the thing.
and open.
Absolutely, you have co-ed everything. So make an opportunity.
If you're a monkey, you're a monkey. If you're a girl, cool. Whatever you want to be, it's open. You can be whatever gender you want to be.
So again, let's move it back to San Antonio. I'm trying to push all the hot topics for everything.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, wow.
Starting early.
The last time we never
get controversial.
Yeah.
I know we never get.
You bring the homies in and look, you drop the political bomb on them.
Literally, you bring I'm like, man, I got to do this again later today. So I'm like, shit.
Did you ever stock up on toilet paper though?
And then I got to go.
No, my wife says I have to stop and pick some on the way home.
Everybody's stopping for picking up.
At least this is
So
based
basically
in
get
reality.
nothing.
Though. We have to deal with some conspiracy theories sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like somebody put some acid in my coffee right now.
Well, there's a lot to be trying to be aware of that there might be a conspiracy about. There's so many things going on right now.
I know, but
You've got we were talking about the picking up the toilet paper on the way home.
Yeah.
All because the longshoremen are going on strike or saying they're going on strike and things like that. The guy that leads them.
Oh, I saw that speech.
He has a
I
Bentley.
despise that man.
He drives a Bentley.
He makes $750,000 a year.
He just sold a 76-foot yacht, and he's worried about and some of the porters, the lowest level makes $28 an hour, which is a great income in today.
It's an unskilled job.
It's an unskilled job. It's gonna. I'm curious if it backfires that because. What they start bringing in the robots now to replace them.
I saw a video. They are some of them already have the robots, and they were out moving the containers and doing that.
They never get tired. They don't get sick. They don't strike.
They don't. Yeah, and it's
bring in the T1000.
That goes into most people look at those jobs like the AI and the robot jobs and stuff like that. It's it's the low skilled workers or the menial task, like driving, truck drivers are important people, but as soon as it's less costly for insurance companies to have a robot driving than a human driving, that's going to be forced into the robots. I just saw a thing where they did a study with doctors.
Oh yeah, some of the robots do a much better job.
So they did a control group. They had control group by themselves. Doctors, the test group, doctors with GPT-4. The control group got 73% of the diagnostics right. With the GPT, they only got 77%, only a 4% increase. Because they didn't trust the AI. When they did it, just the GPT alone, 92% accurate.
Shit. Well, it looks like I'm Googling everything from now on. Well, Google, tell me what's wrong with me.
Well, you don't even use Google no more. You type it into the chat GPT and it tells you what it is.
Yeah, I was in an insurance conference all last week. It's called Indie Tech, and it's up in Indianapolis. And it was just funny. It was everything that they talked about the entire week, you're just ChatGPT. Okay, I got it.
I was listening to a podcast where they're even for cancers, they use the example of breast cancer because that's it's always a touchy subject. My mom had breast cancer.
I was wearing a pink shirt earlier, and I just didn't feel like it was going to pop on this show, so I put the
dude, you always pop in pink.
Yeah. Pretty in pink, handsome.
But when a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer, if they elect to have a lumpectomy, it fails 30% of the time. In other words, 30% of the time they don't get it all, and they have to go back in and have another surgery. And then one of those will fail where they have to have an additional surgery. So of 10 women, they have 14 surgeries is the way they described it. and they've got a tool. I don't know what you would call it. That's use AI, that is in FDA approval and testing. That in a couple of years they will have it in there that it will know if you got all of the cancer out the first time, and it'll go from a 30% error rate to a 100% efficacy rate.
That's awesome.
With it, and that's where using them in conjunction and trusting them. It's like this is the big thing. It's like it just didn't trust the AI because it's the hubris of the doctors. Doctors are.
I mean, on the male side, I think there's a robot that does prostate that is like way more fast, effective, and.
Well, that's what they even like on the scanning of them. They can just pick up stuff that we can't see with our eyes.
We're doomed.
Are a lot better.
I don't know. So this argument's going on since what? The Industrial Revolution.
The spinning wheel, the Luddites and the Jacobites back in the 1600s. It goes back to.
I got a wheel. I like a square wheel.
But that's the thing is, like, everybody's worried about it, like, taking over, but it's going to create new jobs.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what is amazing. Whoever invented central heat and air.
Oh, amen, brother.
Like,
the fanners are upset. You're taking my job.
Are you saying they're getting it warm in here?
No, I'm just saying it's like, man, because of all that work, I now can sit in 65-degree weather in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
when it's 100 outside.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is everybody worries about global warming and all this other stuff. Like, we can survive the hotter weathers easier. It's like if we get an ice age. Like, if everything freezes and nothing grows, that's when we're going to be in trouble.
Well, speaking of conspiracy theories.
There we go.
Have y'all seen the one on why the Carolinas and Georgia
are
so flooded?
I got a hard time believing that, but I saw it.
Apparently, there's some lithium mines there.
And quartz mines.
and quartz mines, and they're having trouble getting approval to expand them. And none of those people have flood insurance, so they just flooded everybody out, and then they'll leave.
Somebody just dialed up a storm.
Yeah,
make it a 4.
Well,
they
can shoot rain into the sky and make it.
Yeah,
they can shoot the rain seeds. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah, I mean, that's
a pretty far stretch. That one's out there.
I mean,
that's almost flat Earth. Not quite.
I mean, Oprah burned down Hawaii.
Flat Earth is pretty bad.
Flat Earth is so bad.
It's just bad. It's bad. I think I've had to stop myself from using the R word, but it's like that's about the only way.
Just make the T word. It's tard.
Yeah, it's just like that's about the only way to describe. Like, if you believe in flat Earth, like, get away from me. Like, that's cool. You are entitled to your opinion, even though you're wrong.
What about going to the moon?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stupid ones out there about the moon too.
So did they go or did they not go?
They went.
They went.
I think they might have butchered or produced some footage.
Yeah,
but I think they went.
Absolutely.
I think they went. I mean,
it makes sense. They were trying to perfect missile technology for nukes and all that good stuff. There's a lot of money and resources put into it. I think they went.
I think they went. But
yeah, I just had this conversation with somebody, like, and they're steadfast that we didn't. I'm like, he's like, well, why didn't we go? Why haven't we been back? That was their thing. Why haven't we been back?
Because
what's the purpose?
It's expensive as shit, and we were going through the 70s and 80s and 90s, and we had other things to spend money on, like a Cold War and this and that.
Yeah,
it's like making missiles and launching and stuff, and it didn't. The government never did go back, and the government's not going to go back. A private person is going back, and a private company is going.
But it's just like Oklahoma. You go once, and you don't need to go again. You know what I mean? OU still sucks.
I'm going to defend parts of Oklahoma.
Which parts of those be?
Like the eastern part.
way up north where it's touching the Ozark Mountains.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm defending.
It's called Siloam Springs. It's right on the border. So
when I was on the oil field, like, we had to go through parts of Oklahoma and was up in Lubbock for a little while, and I was that's what I thought all of Oklahoma was. And I actually drove a couple years ago through, like, Muskogee, and it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. I was like, oh wow, this is not what I thought Oklahoma was going to look like.
Because it's almost not Oklahoma.
It doesn't want to be Oklahoma.
It's where Arkansas said, that's enough. It's getting a little dry over here.
But yeah, so I will stand next to my defense of parts of Oklahoma.
You stand alone.
Back to the moon trip. I mean, think about it. They did less computing power than we have on our phones.
Yeah, that's the
and
crazy.
And they made it.
But I think that just the principle of rocketry itself isn't the most important. Like, I think how they getting them back. Could you imagine, like, you're standing on the moon and you're like, I really hope this thing gets back. Like, you've never been, you're landing on the moon, you've got this junky little car that they've put together, and it's like, I'm sure it's going to get us back.
Yeah, I think you go expecting that to come back, and if you do,
I think so.
So did they blast? But like, was there rockets that blasted them back?
Yeah.
No, it's easier to come back. So you don't need because it's like the hardest part about rocketry, and I know this because my son, not because I'm smart.
Yeah, but
is getting out of our gravity.
Yeah, but we have the gravity, and then
gravity holds you back.
Yeah, but they
once
have
you're on
less
the
gravity.
yeah, so it's really easy to.
But the moon's
so how do they fall back and not just float off?
Well, you just at that point you just need like little air launchers to like just little things, and then once you get into the atmosphere, it's a free fall. I don't know.
Gravity does the rest.
We're acting like we're rocket science. Oh man!
Well, I watched Apollo 13, so let me answer that.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
I've been watching For All Mankind.
I watched The Martian the other day, so I know a thing or two about
growing potatoes.
Have you seen For All Mankind on Apple?
No, I haven't.
TV. It's so like it starts off in the 50s and 60s and everything, and it's as if the Russians got there first.
Oh wow!
And then it's a race to Mars, and it's a race between Russia, the U.S., and a private company, and it's
and Musk gets there first. It's Musk land.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it. It's not Musk. It's and it's all it's only about minerals and stuff like that, and exploring out and stuff like that. It's interesting because I like some of those movies and shows that like The Man in the High Castle. That like, what if history went this way? Have you seen that?
No, I've never seen it. That's cool.
Oh, you haven't seen The Man in the High Castle?
No.
Oh man, I think it's on Amazon or Netflix. It's not on Amazon.
Amazon, good. I got Amazon.
You've got to go. So it's as if the Nazis won.
Eric's our fact checker.
So it's as if the Nazis won. So like all of the East Coast is the Fourth Reich, I think, or whatever, and you've got like Americans that are governors and all this stuff and leading the Nazis here.
Are we speaking German?
Somewhat, and then on the West Coast is like. It's Japan, so like the middle is like the knot, but it's also
the knot.
It's the resistance.
Yeah, the resistance area or whatever, and it's but it's also sci-fi, so like it's alternate realities. So then like people know that like also the American one and the other realities, like then it gets sci-fi, which is.
I mean, we're pretty close to joining the German side. If you look at history, we were not far from going. Hitler. I mean,
America kind of goes wherever we can get the most power at the end, and it's worked out because we're the most powerful. So what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
So were there dinosaurs?
Were there dinosaurs?
Were there dinosaurs?
Oh, for sure. But the question is, were there only 6,000 years ago?
They were.
I heard a Native American person say
billions.
He saw T-Rex.
Oh, dude,
50 million.
No, he said that by the time you go out there with the picks and the brushes and all the other stuff they used to uncover them, they might just be making the fossils.
Well, if you go back into like in the 1800s and stuff like that, there's a lot of fake fossils. Like if you go into museums and things like that, there's a lot of fake fossils. But also, there's a book that's probably controversial in San Antonio called "Forget the Alamo." And
what?
Blasphemy. It's an interesting book. It just kind of gives a more in-depth, thorough look in other side of the story of like the history of it, and but it talks about Phil Collins, because he is contributing and donating a ton of stuff to the Alamo for their the Plaza San Antonio and all that other stuff. And in the book, they claim that at least half of it's fake. Like there's so much fake stuff out there, and like most of the stuff that he's been sold, like they go back and they kind of show who he bought it from and kind of their backstory and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, he doesn't have Bowie's knife, he doesn't have like all these things, and it's like that's funny. But again, it's going to get in there, and it's going to be authenticated, and in 100 years, everybody's going to say, oh, it's got to be the real thing. I would rather not.
I really don't care.
It's a tourist trap, anyways.
Yeah.
It's a tourist trap, and I mean, what are they going to do with Are they going to move it when they put the minor league stadium down there?
Did you just pick it up and
move what, the Alamo?
Yeah, just move
you
it.
can't even cast a shadow on the Alamo.
I know.
Just build another one.
That's why the hotel across the street is all glass for the first 6-7 floors. because it would have casted a shadow.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So the hotel across the street that has the water going through it, it's all glass for the first so many floors, so that way it doesn't cast a shadow.
Did y'all know that?
I didn't know that.
Because it's like illegal
Dude,
to
look at
cast a
this.
shadow in Alamo.
I love it.
Wow.
San Antonio history. I had no idea.
The Dodgers of the Alamo will come and get you.
Yeah.
Dodger
Bowie
Republic.
will come.
Yeah. There's a lot about the Dodger Republic in that book too. So let's kind of do a hard transition because most people don't watch it all the way through, and we'll just get the clips anyways.
There you go.
I love that.
I was showing Brad a video I saw on TikTok, a guy talking about the MLS and all of these different, like in Colorado, there's one that a private company bought the MLS and is making it completely private. How soon do you think that?
Oh, that MLS, not the Major League Soccer team. You're
No.
talking real estate. All right. I'll wake up now.
Multiple listing system.
All right.
No.
I was thinking, goal.
No. This is back into our industry.
All right.
The privatization of MLSs and everything, and so that like these boards are going to be non-existent really soon, in my opinion, or not. And when I say really soon, in the next 5-10 years, for sure.
I don't want to get knifed, but I think they're total BS. They don't need him anymore.
We don't need
with
them.
technology now.
I was talking from a buyer side. I don't work with a ton of buyers, but like we set them up on searches.
I know.
He's not sending Mike the loans.
At that, we have to cut. We're out of time here.
That was so funny. No, but like you set them up on searches and everything, and your MLS and everything, thinking but they come to you with your Zillow and Realtor.com and everything like that. They've got their apps that they use that they're comfortable with and such that they're searching for homes with, and from there is no competitive advantage. It's more of a handcuff to the realtors, I think.
I think we need it.
Why do you think we need it? That's what I'm asking.
I'm
looking for controversy.
I think one of the things that I think it does is it creates some privacy from what the state knows. So Texas is a non-disclosure state. Now the county does hire some agents to pull sold comps. I don't think they're supposed to, but it creates that privacy to where the state doesn't know or the county doesn't know what you paid for your house. So that way they can't jack up those assessed values. I think it helps create that buffer in there.
But it also, if you don't have any public records of home sales, how do you get your comps?
And how do you get the
That's what I'm
spam
saying.
mail when you buy a house?
If it's not on there, if you don't have an MLS that creates all the sold data, how do you get your comps? And then how do you price a home? And then how does a lender send an appraiser and the appraiser figures out the value?
It's going to be on the onus of the realtors to make sure that they're putting, once they close out, like if they have the listing in Zillow and stuff like that, close out what the sales price and stuff like that. You can get the information out there.
But then that'd be public data. Because we're not supposed to, unless the client gives us permission, we're not supposed to share the sold price with everybody.
That's true.
I think it's a double-edged sword.
Be interesting. It goes
think
state by state again, right?
Yeah, I think they have a monopoly. I think they force you to be a part of this thing in order to get access to this.
That's what they do now.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But
I do think there's some benefits to it.
I mean, back in the day, it was a valuable tool.
Yeah,
but now a bot can do it.
they do. I mean, in the insurance, and both y'all in mortgage and everything, your first appraisal and first estimate of value and everything is just completely generated by an algorithm. Unless I'm wrong.
No,
you're not wrong. It's so wrong. So we do a little different. Like we do replacement costs, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it is literally a couple clicks of a button and it generates. And there's several different programs like that we use, and it is what it is. I mean, we can go in there if we know like they put marble in the bathroom and they didn't pick it up. Like we can update it, right? But yeah, it's a fairly accurate computer generated replacement cost.
I mean, I used to be an appraiser. I'll put my appraiser hat on.
There you go.
And a bot could do a better job. It's totally non-biased. So if it's got accurate information, it's going to give you a better number than an appraiser.
Yeah, and that's the thing too with the replacement cost. If it's accurate, then
it's garbage in, garbage out, just like anything else.
But
For sure.
where you, and that's where you like have to still have somebody, a human, an honest human over it. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, that's garbage. That's not true. That's not true. We need to update that. We need to update that. You know, but
just imagine, send the drone in. He goes through the house, comes back.
3D video of everything and knows everything that's in there.
it is what it is.
And there you go. Bam. There's your appraisal.
Or just have the people scan their house. So they have like QB Casa, which will, if you just scan it like that, it'll do a floor plan.
But if you control the bot, then you know it's accurate.
So
if somebody uploads it.
You know what's funny is
Go touch my phone.
I had to.
Do you know where that phone's been?
I guarantee it's
Actually, it's brand. I got it yesterday. It's brand new. This is the 16.
Oh,
It's got Apple Intelligence. I don't know how to use it yet. Hey Siri. She doesn't know the voice yet. Hey Siri. Look at that.
that's his wife.
Tell me about the debate yesterday.
No. It must not have been
Voice text doesn't work really well on a podcast.
I guess no, that's not so good. My trade proposal. I'm getting a fantasy football update. I'm 0-4, by the way.
But back to the whole scanning thing. There was several insurance companies. They're not in business anymore. But they would do because most companies do an inspection after you close on.
Yep.
Well, they would do these self-inspections, and it's just kind of ironic. Like you go through and you like take pictures of under the sink, you take pictures of different stuff, take pictures of your roof, take pictures of all sorts of different things, and then you just submit it, and then from those pictures, a desk inspector would just approve it, or from underwriting would approve it, or say, oh, that needs to get fixed, and we're going to cancel you in 30 days if you don't fix that. None of them are around anymore.
They didn't take picture of the trampoline in the backyard or their pit bull.
Yeah, but I think the difference is they took pictures. But if you went in with like a 3D app and you have to scan everything, you can't skip stuff. Not as easily. They could make ways to make it work.
Yeah.
The point is we don't trust people.
Yeah, and the
For
problem.
good reason.
Yeah, and the problem too is there was, and this is several years ago. But there was a lot of resistance to that. Like, and we would just be like, all right, that's super complicated. I don't trust my client. I was going to say something mean, but I don't trust my client to actually go do this next week.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get them with somebody that's going to have an exterior inspection.
I didn't trust the insurance company. They sent me a bill. I owed another couple $100 when they went out there.
It's happened. I before I got my real estate license, I sold property. I did property insurance for a bit, and like you put a policy, they close. Within 30 days, all of a sudden you get a cancellation notice. Like, nah, we're not. It's all of a sudden it's like because they go out there and inspect, and it's like if everything's not as it should be.
There's been some I've been on the list side. I was like, oh, how'd y'all do that?
For sure.
Well, go ahead.
Well, with an independent, we have options. So there's places that are like, hey, well, give us your crap, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like with several other companies though, they really really care about the quality of that house.
Yeah, some are tough.
Yeah,
they are. We bought a house one of our first houses over by Alamo Heights area. And it had that flat roof with the tar and gravel, and it's like, nope, can't use them. Nope, can't use them. Nope, can't use them. Can't use them.
So we got one, maybe two options.
Yeah.
You like it? That sucks because that's all we got.
Yeah.
They don't like that tar and gravel.
No, none of them do.
Sorry, I don't like insurance.
I don't like it either, but you got.
I like it when you need it.
Unless you need it, then I love it.
Yeah. And as many San Antonians that rear end other San Antonians, you definitely need some insurance.
Yes, please look at make sure you have uninsured, underinsured motorists.
Especially, I can't imagine now with the porousness of the South and people coming up, how many more uninsured drivers that we have on the roads today.
Yeah,
it's
I feel like if you're in San Antonio, you need to make sure that you have uninsured, underinsured motorists on your policy.
I think if you're anywhere.
Yeah.
Especially in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Especially in San Antonio.
Anywhere in Texas.
So just so you know, the number is staggering on people who are uninsured.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it's like 40%.
It's not as high. Well, and I would throw out an old stat, but it's in the high 20s or low 30s. So
I probably know 30% of those.
So there's a 1-3 chance the guy who
Of
hits
those
me.
30%, 20% are related to him.
Yeah, what sucks though is I insure him. Like, stop.
Oh, man. You didn't see the
No,
podcast?
I said I know.
Call force.
Yeah.
When we did a Reddit podcast where like everything was about how bad San Antonio drivers are, and what we've realized they were all talking about Brad. Like he goes, I do that. What's wrong with that?
They're like, this dude almost hit somebody on a bike, and I was like, well, that was me yesterday. Like, I didn't see him.
He was like, right there on the road.
Well, he should have been wearing the reflectors.
Yeah.
See, that's why he does my insurance.
He's always got his back.
Yeah. He'll find a way to make us not at fault.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all jumping in here today. It's a quick one today.
Man, we're done already.
Week. Huh?
We're done already?
We're already done.
Oh, there's so much good topics.
What are you going to talk about? I feel like you've just been sitting there ragging.
Ragging?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
His feelings are hurt because you said he doesn't work with buyers.
I just said
Yeah, it's like, this is
a lot of
over.
bias.
No, because they're used to doing their podcast. They go on for like forever and ever and ever.
And then we just cut a lot of it out.
Yeah.
And we just like put all the stuff in the middle and right there the good stuff and then move on to the next one. Now we've got one that I'm actually kind of looking forward to. Jason Yerington from Ohana Academy.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's going to come in and
We're some judo stuff.
The jiu-jitsu stuff, but
Jiu-jitsu, judo, I was one of those two.
but hopefully talk about some
martial
bullying and
arts.
stuff like that and anti-bullying things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got too many bullies in this world.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of bullies in this world.
25% of the people on this panel right now are bullies.
If I bully bullies, does it make me a bully?
Do what?
I said, if I bully bullies, does it make me bully?
A little bit. A little bit.
That's
The
bullying.
king bully. It makes you the king bully.
King
Bully for you.
Cool. Do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next episode.